Hi, my name is Zephyr and I'm going to be showing you 4 bandages in accordance with First Class Requirement 7A. My mom is going to so kindly let me do these bandages on her. So, there are 4 bandages which I'm going to be doing. There's one the first one is a bandage for the what was it? Oh yeah, it's the bandage for a sprained ankle. Second one is for a head injury. Third one is for an upper arm injury, so like this part of your arm. And then the fourth one is for a collarbone or shoulder fracture. So, out of convenience, because I'm a little bit nervous about this one the most. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to do the upper arm fracture first. So, I have some materials. I'm going to use as a splint this sleeping pad, which is actually is one of the things mentioned in the scout book, which you can use. I have my 2 bandanas, which I'm going to use to tie the splint, and I'm going to turn these into cravat bandages. And yeah, and I have my neckerchief, which I'm going to use as my sling. So, first I'm going to show how to make a cravat bandage. So, you get your bandana, so you can, like this, and you can kind of fold in half. So I'm going to do that right here on the bed. Fold down once, twice, great. So, I folded it down once, I folded the tip down once, and I folded it down twice. That's the cravat bandage. And you can do it more times if your bandage is quite large. So I'm gonna do it a second time with this bandana. Thank you. And 2. I'm gonna tuck that in a little bit. 2. Great. Now that I have my cravat bandages done, I'm going to ask my mom to please sit on the bed so I can apply this one. Thank you very much. I'm going to be using this arm. Is that okay with you? Great. So I'm going to be putting the sleeping pad, like the splints, on her upper arm right here. I'm going to be tying it on. The point here is you want to tie your like bandages for the splint. You want to tie it above and below the injury, and you also, when tying splint, you want to try to immobilize the joints above and below the injured area. So this sleeping pad is a little bit large, but it should still get the job done. Tell me if that's too tight. Great. So 1. Great, that's fine. Then I'm going to do the second one. Okay. 2. Always tie like bandages with a square. That's the most secure way to get that. 2. Check to make sure. Oh, this one's a little bit loose, so I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. And when tying these things, you always want to check for circulation in fingertips for upper extremities, or for upper body, and in toes for lower body. So that's not too tight. I can fit 2 fingers in it. It's all good. Great. So this is her injury right here. Above and below is where you want to tie this. Now, I'm going to get my sling. and I'm going to get this out. Alright. So, I want to see if I can kind of wiggle this up a little bit, because I want to have room to put her forearm in a sling. So, good? I may have to retie this.
I think it'll be okay. Just trying to sling underneath it.
Alright, yeah. So, going to get the sling. I'm going to get this end. I'm going to get the long end. I'm going to put it on my arm like this. try and make it. You want to try and raise the fingertip so that it's about 3 inches above the elbow. So that looks like that's about 3 inches. Just tie this behind you. If you wouldn't mind actually getting up for me, that might make it a little easier. Thank you. All right. Is that high enough? Like, is it above your elbow? I can't really see super well. Yep, that's about 3 inches above your elbow. Great. Dan, tell me if it's too tight.
Nope.
Going to tie a square knot behind. Tie a square knot behind. Two. Great. Checking. Great. The injury is about, the arm is about, or sorry, the hand is about 3 inches or so above the elbow. We have our splint. And now I'm going to get some bandages. Great. I'm going to get some bandages. And I'm going to tie it around her to kind of seal everything together. What this is doing is we have a splint on one side, and we're essentially using the body as a secondary splint on the other side. You want to always have two splints on an injury, so you want it to be protected on both sides. Now it's just a matter of finding the seam on this. Okay. Alright, I got it. This stuff is a little bit thin, so I may want to go around twice. I may go around twice just to kind of like really accentuate it, but this bandage still shows my point. Still show my point. So this here. One. Here. And go two. Great. Now I'm going to tie a square knot. Again, hope that's not too tight.
You can also use my scarf.
I don't want to do that.
And you can As they know.
I cut my bandage a little bit too short here.
Just tape it on.
I need to do it. I need to do a square knot at the back. And it's taking me a little bit too long because I cut it a little bit too short.
Okay. Do you want to use my scarf instead?
Yeah, I actually will. Is it in here?
Yep, it's hanging up right over there.
Great. I will take this bandage off our victim. Thank you, Mom.
Or just do a longer tape.
We'll probably do that. If I made it about an inch longer, that'd be good. Alright. Great. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Now I'm going to tie my bandage around our victim. So there we go.
It goes lower.
Here we go. Trying to make sure that looks right. Great. But wait, you want this to go in between. Tying this all together.
So now you've got the splint, everything tied down tight, so my arm's totally immobilized.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. So this is the bandage for, bandage for the upper arm. Oops, excuse me. this is the bandage for the upper arm. Now I'm going to take this all down, and I'm going to show you the the bandage for the bandage for the collarbone and or fracture, and yeah, then I'll do sprained ankle and then head injury. Okay, now I'm going to show you the bandage for a fractured collarbone or shoulder fracture. So I've already have our splint on the patient. Let me tuck this little in right here. Tuck that in. Don't want that getting caught on anything. We already have our splint on the patient. The forearm is, the hand is raised about 3 inches above the elbow. And now I'm going to do our last step, which is I'm going to put the bandage around our victim to keep everything in place. With a collarbone or shoulder fracture, you're not actually splinting the upper arm. You're kind of holding the collarbone and the you're just holding everything in place, and you're trying to lock the joints as best as possible. You're trying to immobilize them as best as possible. So I'm going to come around, making sure that that's right. I believe that that's high enough. Now I'm going to tie the square knot. Make sure I got that right. 1, 2. Great. It's tight. All right. Great. Thank you for doing this, Mom. I really appreciate it. So this is the bandage for a fractured collarbone or shoulder. So yeah, the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to show a bandage for a head injury, and then we will be done. Then I'll do that, and also for a sprained ankle. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the bandage for a head injury. Now, with a head injury, with a less severe head injury, but one that is still bleeding, this is of course a hurry case. You want to call 911 immediately. You want to get these things. You want to get this taken care of. So you're going to get a sterile dressing or a sterile bandage, and you want to press it on the top of the head and to hopefully stop any bleeding. Now, if the injury is severe, or covers a large area on the head, and the entire scalp must be covered, we're going to tie a bandage around it. So I'm using a bandana. We have our sterile bandana, or this could also be you can also use a triangular bandage or scalp neckerchief. A little bit tricky trying to balance this thing on here, but I think I got it. Excuse me. Now I'm going to tie a square knot. 1 and 2. Great. Square knot achieved. Now she has a bandage on the back on her head, and yeah, it should hopefully be covering up the wounds and just protecting it until we can get better medical care. Okay, so I'm now going to show the bandage for a sprained ankle. So sprained ankles are interesting because you want to if you have a sprained ankle, or one of your friends gets a sprained ankle, if it's good and it doesn't cause too much pain to when you try and step on it, you can actually continue your hike, for example. But if standing on it causes any pain or anything like that, you're going to have to carry them. Either stop where you are and treat with rice, so rest, ice, compression, and elevation, or you're going to carry them the rest of the way until your destination. Then you can apply rice. Now. But if it's not super bad, and it doesn't hurt them very much, you can apply a bandage to their foot. Which is, essentially what it's going to do is it's going to kind of hold everything together. So I'm going to be applying one. You want to do it over the boot, because if you take the boot off, it can actually cause more swelling and you want to be able to continue your hike in general. So I'm going to make a cravat bandage with my scout neckerchief, and then I'm going to apply it over the shoe, over the boot, or over the shoe in this case, and have it be good. So, to make this right here. You know, the scout book says that most neckerchiefs aren't going to be long enough, but it seems like that mine actually is long enough. It's about 40 inches, which is the max. So it's actually really helpful. I'm glad I got this. So I'm going to do this. Is that okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put it on the bottom first. Then I'm going to go behind and cross. Now I'm going to go around here, cross again, go under this one, stop it, go under this, hold tight, hold the entire thing down. It's not too tight, right? Great.
It feels very stabilizing.
Great. Now I'm going to tie that and that. Now this is a square knot. So yeah, I've tied this over the shoe. It's a bandage. Mine facing. Yep, bandage. It will keep everything stable, and will keep everything more or less compressed and in place.
Want to pull the camera down and show it up close?
Sure. Thank you. Alright.
Just the bandage part, not my foot.
Oh, yeah. So, does that show? Yeah. So this is the bandage. It's a bandage which it's a bandage for the sprained ankle. So, my name is Zephyr Carter. This is my very nice mom letting me do all these bandages on her. My name is Zephyr Carter. This is for first class requirement 7A, and thank you for watching. Bye.